and welcome to The Point. I'm Leslie and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. Can you believe that it's been a year since we started doing online Sunday school? I can't believe how much time has passed, and I'm really excited and looking forward to be able to get back together at The Point at church together again. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying this beautiful spring weather that we have. I'm wondering if Oscar or Lydia, have you been out biking at all? Or what have you been up to, Simeon, Isaiah, and Naomi, playing in your backyard? I know you've got lots of space there. Well, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a good time and you're able to enjoy God's beautiful creation. Well, today, our big idea is that Jesus saves us from our sin so that we can boldly tell others, I'm with him. I'm with Jesus. So I've got a challenge at home for you, and I've got some helpers on the video to help lead us. So I want you to yell as loud as you can on the count of 3, I'm with Jesus. So 1, 2, 3.
I'm with Jesus.
Nice job. Let's try again, but this time pretend like you're underwater.
I'm with Jesus.
Now shout it like you're in the library.
I'm with Jesus.
How about like you're an alien robot?
I'm with Jesus.
Good one. Let's do one more. Now shout, I'm with Jesus as loud as you can, like you're in a room full of soldiers with swords pointing at you, and they're arresting everybody who's with Jesus. That's a tougher one, isn't it? What do you think you'd do in that situation? Do you think you would shout it at the top of your lungs, I'm with Jesus? Would you whisper it like you were in the library? Or would you say anything at all? Well, in today's true Bible story, there's a man that was put in that exact situation. And we're going to dig deeper and we're going to look in the book of Luke, chapter 22. Now, last week we learned that Jesus was arrested because he was saying that he was the Son of God, which is totally true. But before that happened, he had a really interesting conversation with one of his disciples named Peter. The conversation went something like this.
Peter, the devil is going to tell you to turn away from me.
No way, Jesus. I would go to jail or even die before I turn away from you.
Well, truly I tell you, Peter, before the rooster crows in the morning, you will say you don't know me 3 times.
Peter couldn't believe it. He was one of Jesus' most loyal disciples. They were really good friends. He had even tried to stop Jesus from being arrested by cutting a man's ear off. But it didn't work. And now Jesus was being dragged by guards through the dark streets to the high priest's house. Peter was scared. He saw guards everywhere. And he knew that if the guards saw him, they would probably arrest him too. So carefully and quietly he stayed hidden in the darkness and followed Jesus from far away. There was no way Peter could sneak into the high priest's house where the guards had taken Jesus. He knew he would get caught for sure. So he sat down outside with some people around a campfire. There was only one problem with that. Now that Peter was sitting near the light, people were able to see his face. One of the people was a servant to the high priest. She said to Peter,
I think I recognize you. Are you with Jesus?
Peter felt scared. If he said he was with Jesus, he'd get into trouble.
Jesus? I don't know that guy.
A little bit later, someone else saw Peter sitting by the fire. She also thought she recognized Peter. So she said,
Hey, aren't you one of Jesus' disciples?
Jesus? Sorry, man, but I don't know that guy.
About an hour later, another person said something to Peter.
Hey, you're from Galilee, aren't you? You must know that Jesus guy.
Man, I don't know Jesus. What are you talking about?
Right then, Peter remembered what Jesus had told him earlier.
Before the rooster crows in the morning, you will say you don't know me 3 times.
Peter just couldn't believe it. As soon as he realized what he had done, he felt so terrible that he ran away and began to cry.
Hi guys, it's Paul here. Pretty amazing story, isn't it? And I think it's really helpful to know that Peter knew Jesus for 3 years. He lived with the guy. He was really good friends and he knew him very, very well. And yet, even under that pressure, he denied knowing him 3 times. Which I guess brings us to 2 big questions that we would like you to pause and discuss. Peter said that he was willing to go to jail or even die for Jesus, but then he denied even knowing him. Why do you think that happened? If you were Peter, what do you think you would have done when people asked you if you knew Jesus? Why? So the amazing part of this story that we don't ever want to forget is that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. And all we have to do is ask him for that, and we will have life forever in heaven. Now, it's easy to think yourself in the same situation like Peter, where you might feel ashamed or a little scared about saying, I'm with Jesus. And one thing that I find very helpful for me is that when I first wake up in the morning, a lot of times I'll go out and I'll see the sunrise. And that for me is usually at the start of my day when I say, I'm with Jesus. And that helps me remember him throughout the rest of the day, knowing that Jesus is always near.
Thanks for sharing, Paul. You know, Peter hid in the dark because he was afraid. He was ashamed and he was scared. But we don't have to hide in the dark. We can step out into the light and boldly declare that we are with Jesus. And our memory verse today is found in Romans 1, verse 16. And it says, I'm not ashamed of the good news. It is God's power to save everyone who believes. So are you with me? Can you say, I'm with Jesus?
I'm with Jesus.
I'm with Jesus.
I'm with Jesus.
I'm with Jesus.
Well, friends, that just about wraps us up. I hope you're able to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather this week. And we'll see you again soon. Stay safe. Remember our 3 things that keep us safe. Sneeze or cough into your elbow. Keep 6 feet apart from the people that aren't in your family household. And wash your hands lots. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.